Hey everybody, JB back with you once again, and welcome to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We are currently about to enter the very first day of the trial of Sister Iris here, and we are not in the shoes of Phoenix Wright anymore. Rather, we have stepped into the role of Miles Edgeworth now, who is going to be taking on the defense today, or rather, he's going to be the defense taking on the prosecution today. And, well, we don't really know a whole lot at this point. We know that Sister Iris is the one who's under suspicion. She looks an awful lot like Dahlia Hawthorne and knows Phoenix, which is very suspicious. She claims to be reformed, or at the very least trying to make amends for past sins, which is rather interesting. But is she being genuine, or is this another Dahlia trick? Well, I guess we'll find out more here today. But other than that, we don't really have a whole lot to go off of, other than the fact that Larry apparently saw something super amazing that he's not telling us about. So let's go ahead and dive in. Oh my, Mr. Lorisse feels that way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not. And in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Lorisse is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. Sister Bikini? She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donim, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry, I've made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Aw, hopefully we won't let her down. Providing she actually is innocent. Oh, there's no prosecutor there. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. I see we've got the Canadian judge and his golden beard here today. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. Alright, we win, right? Oh, wait, maybe not. I am ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds a defendant...
Objection!
Oh! Could it be? Yeah! It's Francisca! The prosecution stands ready. And you are? I like how they reprised the heroic Edgeworth music here. Francisca von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma? Legends are a thing of the past. I'm a von Karma. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor.
I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? Uh-oh. You look very much like a prosecutor I met once.
I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor.
Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There is no such weakening as this man among those of the prosecutor's office.
There isn't. But I'm sure once before in this courtroom. Ah!
I told you, there is no such weakening.
What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at...
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip.
You don't?
The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic.
Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. Wah!
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famous picture book author, Miss Lise Donim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
Crime photo adds to the court record. The courtyard where Elise Donim was murdered. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand.
And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Man, it sure feels odd to see Edgeworth on that side of the courtroom. Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight.
If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain-plagued witness.
Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please.
Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone.
Well, you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Wah!
The courtroom is the garden of holy judgments. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. Wahaha, ha 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 ha.
In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question.
That's right.
I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. So she's doubting that Iris did it.
Let's hear what you have to say, then. First, tell us about your own movements at night, eh?
The night of the murder. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the Inner Temple. But, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up. Violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There was no bath at the Inner Temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it.
So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple?
Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the Inner Temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle, now are you, Miles Edgeworth? Oop. There we go.
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination.
Okay, I didn't see anything there that looked contradictory, but I'm going to just look at the court record to see what we have here. Okay, none of this stuff looks like it is contradictory. I wonder when this picture is going to come into play. I feel like that's going to be... Oh, wait. This might be contradictory, this testimony. Okay. So we know that the death happened between 10 and 11, and Iris claims that she rang the bell and then was in her room until the murder was discovered. So I feel like that might be the contradiction. Let's give that a shot, and if that doesn't work, we can just press away here. Okay, hang on a sec. I think they're trying to point us to this right here. Although she didn't say specifically what time. I'm gonna try pressing this first. The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There is no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true.
Okay. Maybe we do need to... Wait a minute. The other problem with this is that if Iris is over on the other side of the bridge, then how would Iris have gotten back? Hang on a sec. When did the bridge burn down? Because the murder happened, and then we saw the bridge burn down. I mean, if we were going with the theory that Iris was the one who did it, then I guess this does contradict that, assuming she was there the whole time. But Iris claims to have come back to ring the lights out bell, so... You know, that's not a contradiction. Let me press this, though. It feels weird to hear Edgeworth say, hold it. You left Iris to help with what? What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the acolytes so that they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct? Yes, she's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. Okay. I'm gonna try presenting Iris's testimony. No, okay. Get smart with this penalty. Okay. Let's try, just pressing the other stuff here. What is this inner temple? Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process? It is all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising.
Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies.
A tutor with a whip, in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? Okay. Violently. That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. Waha, waha, waha. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right, raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. Okay, so far, Nothing new here.
Hold it.
So you return to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath. My back is to blame for everything. It's a do-or-be-done-in kind of world, after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, wait a minute. This might be important. My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? Ah, this is why you have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... Gwah. Pathetic, Miles Edgeworth. Don't be mad at me. She's the one who sidetracked us.
The lowest of the low.
Is there some sort of kick-me sign stuck to the defense's bench? Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... Oh, I thought we were going to get, like, an exact time frame. Let me see something here. I was curious. Where is this courtyard on the map? Because I thought we had to go inside the temple to get to the courtyard, right? So... Did she actually have to pass through that? I'm gonna try presenting this. I'm just gonna look through everything here just to make sure. Okay. So lightning struck the bridge at 10:45. Okay. So that's not anything suspicious here. Oh my goodness. Body fell 10 feet. Okay. There's nothing about the picture that's odd, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna try the map. Nope, okay. I'm gonna look it up. We have pressed everything, so... Let me get to the answers here. Oh, we are supposed to present Iris's testimony, but on the third statement. Okay. Hang on a sec. So I was right the first time, I just presented it on the wrong statement. So I left Iris to help the acolyte. Oh, this... Okay. I didn't realize that she was talking about 10 p.m. here. Okay. Gotcha. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all. Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No! She said that? A defendant or a witness. Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
She does indeed have an honest eyes. Wah!
All people lie. That is my belief.
Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means... we must call your memory into question. Dear, you're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what I... My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence.
Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick.
Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination.
Wait. Is there another... What's different here? Oh, here we go. I think this is it. And I think I know what we need to present here, because... Yeah, recede before lights out bell, deny the crime. Yeah, so if Iris is coming there after the lights out bell, then she wouldn't be dressed exactly as she was at dinner. There we go. Witness. Let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wahaha, wahaha, wahaha. Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights-out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? I feel like Phoenix likes to say that a lot. If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Well, well, well! It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it.
Order! Order the court! Witness your response!
Sister. This hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them.
I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
This is quite strange. Wah!
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. I think that's the first time that we've cut, like, faded to black and then we panned during the shot.
Witness! Well, I don't wish to call your testimony to doubt. You must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. After my bath. I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was, oh, Mystic Elise! And with that sword of all things. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court, and me seeing it all from this very chair.
That's a rather odd comparison.
Well, something like that.
This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe's. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine. Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? Okay. So I noticed one very glaring contradiction here. And that was that all this stuff happened according to her after 11, whereas the... Oh, where is it? Here we go. The time of death was from 10 to 11. So that seems a little odd. I'm gonna present this here. There we go. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say, anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. You do a lot of things well in winter, apparently. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. Oh, is that the contradiction? I thought it was the time. Ah, I think we just got lucky there.
That's right. It says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Ah! Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. So how did the sword get all the way up there then? And she was then thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donium's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? Wah!
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, then you're acquitted. Wah!
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion, then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order! 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 I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please! Remain standing on the crate!
Don't go selling me short now.
I like how she slides up.
The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially in my back and my mood.
Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. I don't know if I would want a massage from Franziska. With the whip? Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. Alright, alright. Further details. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Louise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I woke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Louise through the back. So it almost sounds like somebody used the sword on her and then arranged the crime scene so it looked like the statue of Amy was stabbing her. That seems rather odd.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karmas strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska Von Karma, and I'm here to teach you just that. Alright, I'm curious to jump to that last statement. I'm gonna press this, though. This seems a little odd. Think carefully. This is very important. It's Iris we were talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. I don't think it proves anything. Let's see what we have here. By Mystic Amy, you are referring to the golden statue, correct? Just stabbing someone with a Shichi-Shido, a sacred treasure, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade... truly a heinous, despicable crime. It is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. But anyway, what is the problem? Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that?
No, I don't think I can.
Okay, at least we're going on along this track. There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts. Really, are we going with that explanation?
That's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichi-Shido from the Amy statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. Okay, so that wasn't... That didn't actually do anything, but maybe it unlocked something? Let's see what we have here. That's the thing with Larry. I'm just seeing if we have anything that's... I feel like this picture is going to come in handy someday. Alright, let's just continue... Oh, wait, the picture. Hang on a sec. What's this picture show? Okay. So she's face down on the ground. There's blood there. The sword's going through. I mean, I don't really see anything particularly strange about that. I mean, that just looks like the setup version of everything. Let's just press everything for now. At that time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Okay, we already pressed that. I'm going to see if there's anything new here. No, okay. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right.
Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. Oh, that's an interesting detail. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well?
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further? Alright, let's press this. Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding?
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Oh, okay, that's a detail that you didn't mention before. Pulling the sword out? well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important? Yes, that was important. More important than you can imagine. I saw the incident in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Plunged into the hilt? Like, that's... Hang on a sec. I mean, the hilt would be, like, way up here. How far through her was this? I'm gonna try presenting this. No, okay. I was like, hey, the hilt's like way up here, and, you know. Let's see what we have here with pressing. Smoothly, you say. You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out? That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Missing Elise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. Oh, okay, so in that picture, that is closer to the hilt. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened. Something that couldn't have happened happened? The only other thing I can think of is that maybe the sword is the thing we should be presenting here, because this does not go all the way up to the hilt. Maybe this is what we need to present. There we go! Nice. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar.
But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. Oh yeah, it wouldn't be so smooth with the way that sword is designed, would it? I guess that's the other impossibility. Also, we can't really see the shape of the sword in that flashback, so I'm wondering if Sister Bikini saw some other sword being used.
What do you mean? Please explain your... Wow!
Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep should I so choose.
The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit.
That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a chichishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction.
You still got more?
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? That's what I was originally wondering. Ah. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No!
Order, wow!
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but...
Having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichishito.
What?
A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think the sword was the murder weapon? Well, it's because Mystic Amy was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, then that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shichishito was the murder weapon. Man, I like having Edgeworth in the defendant's seat here. Or, not defendant's seat, the defense attorney's seat.
Order what?
So maybe the Shichishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. It changes everything. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. Oh, you're talking about that.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth?
If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question?
Yes, namely, where is it? Where did the real murder weapon disappear to? There we go. It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
That's... Answer the question, Miss Von Karma.
Oop, she's got the pressure put on her. No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, can I say something? I just remembered something, actually.
What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
Oh, don't tell me it was that incinerator. We've had enough incinerator disposals in this series.
You what?
Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible.
What else? What else could this old woman have seen? Location of the weapon. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. That's a bunch of maybe.
Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape, but with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph. Ooh. Okay.
A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. Tracks photo added to the court record, taken that night from main gate to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
Doesn't that river wash up somewhere? Like, couldn't they check that? Okay, let's ask about this. Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for? Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. I have to concede that is more than enough time. Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth? I think so. While it would have been possible time-wise, one element remains out of place here.
Oh, and what would this mystery element be?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Wow! Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What?
That didn't answer the question at all. She's as over the top as always. Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. Could have is the operative phrase there. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. And all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. I'm just gonna press stuff for now. You are sure about the time? Yes. I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. Aquai was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple. Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least. Please continue, sister. You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct? Right, the one who trampled me. It seems she is the type to hold a grudge. There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him. He had forgotten it at home, apparently. What a naive boy, as always. I'm like older than you. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my VIP in hand, too. Yeah, we've noticed. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. Oh yeah. That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. So, she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time. I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? Well, let's press further. I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question. Was it still warm at that time? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean, eh?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see. I never thought of that.
That's right. I overlooked that too.
Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Really?
Snow?
Yes, for some reason only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. There wasn't any snow on it? Curses!
It seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? I feel like that was important. In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking. Ah, there's a reason for that. Have you got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I had fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. Hey, that rhymes. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
That is not a sound effect I need to be hearing. I haven't been able to find the courage to write anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it. Okay, that was a rather weird detour. I feel like we've pressed everything here. So let's see, what... I feel like the fact that we got this is important. So I think they're trying to suggest that the snowmobile was used because there's no snow on it, so it wasn't sitting in one place for snow to collect on it. So this photo was taken that night. I feel like Iris's testimony is the thing we should present here, but I'm actually going to look up the answer to this. Oh, we're supposed to present the snowmobile picture on... Okay. Either this statement or this statement. I wonder why that is. I guess we'll find out. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? Oh, I didn't think of that. What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back. Ah, you're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? I'm gonna check something real quick. Weather data. Snow lasted from 7 to 10:50. So, okay. So it was snowing pretty much all night until the apparent time of the murder. Huh. I'm trying to figure out what this means. So, if we're trying to go with the idea that the murder happened around 11, does this really contradict that? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks. I'm going to say there's a contradiction. Nothing's ever flawless. The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain? Why there's a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction? No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge in order to dispose of the murder weapon. The outgoing tracks were erased by snow.
Oh! Okay, I see now. So, yeah. So we are saying that if both trips happen after 11, then there couldn't be any erasure. Okay, I see now.
Or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh?
Alright, I'm going to make sure it is the weather data, and it is. Okay, good.
Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow.
Take that!
I like the way he says take that. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder.
The weather report?
Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Ah!
Order, order! Very well then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in! Wah!
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Hey, it's not my fault the weather behaved the way it did that night. Answer me this, then. When is a weather report ever correct? Well, this was a report after the fact, so it is.
Ah, no, you got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data. Gah!
Forecast, data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have been still snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true. We can't be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off? Yeah, I gotta admit, that's pretty weak.
It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubts remain concerning this testimony. Ha! You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. Takes one to know one, I guess.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where's your evidence that it already stopped snowing on when the victim was killed?
I'm trying to see if there's like a... picture here. I feel like it's this. I'm gonna go with this. Well, let me make sure this is it, because there's no snow here. Let me see if this is correct, and it is. Okay, good. Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, except the victim, with just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Donim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be two sets of tracks. Ah!
Order! Just what are you... Yeah!
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? To be honest, I am not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? This all sounds like a bit fishy to me. What does, sister? There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
That sounds right.
But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. And it's covered in snow, too. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. Yeah. But that isn't possible. How is that supposed to work?
Order! Order! Order in the court! What does this all mean?
So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I have nothing more to add. I told you everything. Everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
A witness, huh? I have a feeling I know who that might be.
Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Well, luckily for you, Sister Bikini, we do happen to know an idiot. Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame.
Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that sub-Arctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are 2 things about him that do come to mind.
Which are?
First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being, this individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about?
Alright, I don't even need to look up the answer to this.
Take that!
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Donim.
Her student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him, although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately!
I have no choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Very well.
Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you.
The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, the court is now in recess.
Alright. To be continued. Alright, that was a pretty productive first part of the trial. Next time, we will do the second half. So hopefully we can uncover even more. And we can discover more about that snowy night. So until then, thanks for watching. As always,